Hello, ladies and gentlemen. All right, today I'm going to be talking to you about burnout, what can be done to help prevent burnout when you are posting online all of the time. Now, I've been posting a video every single day, and I'm starting to get a little bit bored with myself more than anything else. I can find endless topics online, I can talk endlessly, and I can change rooms, but at the end of the day, what's it going to do for me? As my mic slowly falls, do pardon that. Now, I've got cute dogs that are surrounding me to try and help coax me, as I am being now requested for pets. But, today I kind of want to talk about being burnt out in every capacity, not just with video making, but with my current work, my profession. Unfortunately, my profession. It's just a job. And at the end of the day, everything's just a job. Life you can actually denote as being just a job, but that's a pretty negative view to have. So today, I kind of want to talk a little bit about it. And if you can't tell, I'm trying to make this a little bit more of an interesting video, not just with changing up the room, changing up the click-clacking of paws that you hear outside of the door, and now that you have them in the same room. But you know what? I just kind of want to talk today because I'm pretty tired of work. I'm pretty tired of my current profession, and I need some change. But you know what? I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I don't really have any solutions at the moment. There are some things that are not immediate that I'm working on, and at some point it's going to stop. At some point I'm going to make some changes. But, I've been thinking about it today, and I'm not trying to be depressive or anything when I say this. I'm trying to be motivational. If you're stuck in a job that you absolutely cannot stand, you detest it in every capacity, you can always change it. If you don't like your current profession, maybe you're stuck in there, maybe you're locked in because the money's good enough. Maybe it's because, you don't think you can get anything better. But I do have to tell you, you can always find a different profession. The great thing about work is somebody always needs somebody to do the work, If you're restaurant serving and you're tired of it, you can always switch it up. If you're tired of that, try retail. I'd hate retail, I'm not gonna lie, I've worked in it before. I've worked as a, cashier. I've worked as a server. I've worked as a fast food worker, and honestly, it's all the same. It's just a job. And if you're gonna be miserable, you may as well make as much money as possible while you're miserable. But at some point, it's gonna have to stop. At some point, you're gonna have to look in on yourself and say, hey, what am I gonna do? What's the next plan? And I'm kind of doing that lately. I'm looking at all the things, my plans. I'm looking at everything I can assess to tell myself, hey, there's going to be something at some point for me, but what's that thing going to be? I've had a lot of different things I've tried doing. I've tried animation, I've tried programming, I've tried a lot of different jobs, and at the end of the day, nothing's quite stuck yet. Nothing's really kind of hit the mark yet. And, maybe it's because I haven't executed it right. Like, maybe what you're thinking right now is, how can you execute something that's going to get you further than the last time? How are you going to actually think to yourself, hey, you know what? What can I do with my skills that I haven't done yet, but I have the skills to execute something, some kind of profession? I have a lot of hobbies. I cook a lot, I bake a lot, I work a lot, I serve, I've been in restaurants, I've had my entire life surrounded by food. I've had my entire profession surrounded by food. Working in a restaurant, you're constantly surrounded by food. Working in a restaurant, you're also constantly surrounded by alcohol. I've thought to play my hand at bartending before. I've also thought to just completely stop working in restaurants altogether. And, I've also thought to become a YouTuber. I've thought to do all kinds of things. And when I look at my current status with YouTube and my low subscriber count that could currently go higher, I don't know. I think about all of these things. I think to myself, like, what am I going to be doing with my life? What do I want to do past this year to the next year? As I have a little dog asking for tummy rubs. He's actually a big boy. And I'm sorry that I'm getting distracted. I try to think to myself, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And how many times is my profession going to change over the course of these years? How many times am I going to work from restaurant to restaurant? How many times am I going to stop working at restaurants and do something else? Maybe I'll run my own restaurant. Then I think about all the other variables, and I think about everything I'm going to do with my life and all of the plans that I have. And at the end of the day, I don't know. That's the problem, is I don't know yet. And I feel like we're all in the same boat, where we're constantly thinking to ourselves, what do I do next? How do I figure out the next plan? How do I get the next profession going? How do I figure out my next status, my next game, really? Like, we all have different things we're doing. And I know this video is really rambly. I know there's not a lot that I can actually, go on about. And I'm not even burnt out with making videos. I'm not really burnt out with anything other than where I'm currently at with my work. Now, I've been currently thinking a lot about where I want to go next, and what do I want to do, and how do I want to do it, and what the plan's going to be, but I don't really have a plan yet. That's the problem. And, I've been really fed up with work lately, my current job, the way I've been treated at my current job, the hole I've dug for myself at that current job, because it isn't just on them, it's also on me. We all like to play like the victim at work and act like we're constantly penalized when sometimes it's just on us. And it sucks. It sucks to be the failed employee. It sucks to be the underdog. It sucks to be the loser. And I'm not saying that I'm exclusively those things all the time. I just think that we change up the way we feel about certain things, and then the result is that we feel unsatisfied in terms of when we feel like we've been taken down a notch in terms of our profession. Maybe we aren't prioritized as much. And when it comes to being a server, you do constantly feel deprioritized in some capacity. You always question, why is somebody else getting sat more than me? Why is somebody else making more money than me? Why do I always have the worst tables or the worst section? Or why am I always treated so badly by fellow employees? And I do suggest looking in on yourself for these things, because it can be just as much you as it is some other reason. It can be just as much management not liking you for an attitude, management not liking you for who you are, or what you do, or what you lack to do, And to be fair, I look in on myself a lot because I know I could always do better, and maybe this is why I'm being penalized. Maybe when I don't get a good section consistently, it's because they don't think that I can do good in a better section, And it just sucks because right now I feel like I don't really have any chances to expand and go beyond the scope of what I'm currently working at. The profession I have is very unprofessional, and I feel like it's not going to be something that's going to last or stick. And I tell you this because it's with almost every job that you're going to feel this way. Every job has its ups and its downs. And every time you even are self-employed, your job is going to have its ups and its downs. Your income is going to eventually be expended and output. And, the best thing about getting richer and richer is a lot of people who do potentially get richer and richer through their means, they actually invest and they build up continually, and they always work towards something more. When you are just a grunt worker, an employee, your income, pardon all the noise, is going to be finite. No matter how much money you make, if you work for somebody else, there's going to be a limitation to your income and your output. There's going to be also a limitation to you actually having a passion for the work, because maybe you aren't passionate about it. And I've been thinking a lot about that lately because I know I'm not passionate about my work. I know I'm a good worker. I know I'm a solid worker. It's one reason why I know I haven't been fired yet, is because I know how to upsell. I know how to do what I need to do to get going with my job, and my mistakes are oftentimes quite small and or not common. That's the only luck that I have at my job, is I do get lucky. And I've managed recently, and throughout my time serving and being a worker, a grunt worker, I've managed to make enough money to get by, But I'm not satisfied, and I think we all are unsatisfied. And I think that as the days pass and the more unsatisfied you become, the more likely you are to either do one of two things. And those two things are either going to make or break you. You can appeal to futility and then start using substances to help cope, or have bad coping mechanisms, or just constantly spin your wheels and feel like you're victimized. Or you can make a change and take a different angle, work in a different direction. Maybe that means getting a second job. Maybe that means trying an entirely new profession. Maybe that means taking a risk and quitting your job and then living off your savings and trying to figure out your next move. Maybe that means something entirely new. And, whether you believe in God or fate or the chaos of the universe or nothing at all, and that life is just chaos and an endless void of humanity, and you're sheerly damned no matter what, and you may as well ride out the chaos. No matter what you believe, the reality is that you do have a chance at making change no matter what the circumstance is. And, I get it. Like, I'm in a weird place right now. I know I'm telling you this a little bit disjointedly, almost as if I'm insinuating something, but it's because, honestly, I'm going to be completely, forthcoming when I tell you this. I have no idea what I'm doing. I think that a lot of us have no idea what we're doing. I think a lot of the time we just wing it and hope it works out. We find something, we stick to it, and we bounce to the next thing. We find something, we stick to it, and then we get bored of it, or we get fed up with it. We feel unsatisfied with it, and we feel like it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's never good enough, it's never gonna be good enough, and then we bounce to the next thing. And we hope that it works out next time. And you're constantly chasing the purple dragon, ironically, for that high of you getting somewhere else because you know this is not where you want to be. And, I've been really thinking about it lately because I have no idea where I want to be. I have no idea how I'm going to get to where I need to be. I want to be rich, but I think we all want to be rich. And the thing I'm telling myself is, why do I want to be rich? What do I want to be rich with? What do I want to get by being rich? Do I just want stability? Do I want my family? Do I want to help my own family? Do I want to make my own family for myself? And I look at all these things, and I think the end goal is, yeah, I want to own my own property. I want to have my own family. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I want to create something of myself beyond what I'm already at. And working for somebody else doesn't really do that fully. Like, I can tell myself that I'm satisfied working for someone else, and maybe the pay is amazing. Maybe the pay is terrible, But when I think about it, I think I'm unsatisfied if I'm not working for me or working for my overall goals. And, I look at ways of investing, and I look at ways of saving, and I look at ways of moving my money around, and I've done a lot of it. But when I look at everything, I think it's just not good enough. And maybe that's because of the inferiority complex. Maybe it's because I recognize that I'm just not good enough yet, or I'm not doing well enough. But either way, something has to change if I or you feel unsatisfied given current circumstances. And I'm telling you all of this because I feel like it's so easy to just get into a habit, a rhythm, or an arrhythmic rhythm of feeling unsatisfied, but feeling like you can't change and go to the next thing, go to the next job, take the next risk. And, at some point, it's going to have to stop, too. At some point, you're going to have to tell yourself, this is it. And maybe it's never going to happen, but when I look at a current job, I look at my own stuff, and I look in on myself, and I think to myself, I don't want to be a server forever. I really don't want to be. I don't know what I want to be forever. I don't even know if I want to be anything ever. Like, I look at all the stuff that I've done, and I'm like, I've gotten pretty far. I've done a lot of the things I need to do. I've done a lot more than I thought I'd ever be able to at this age. I didn't think I'd ever be in America at this age. I didn't even think I'd probably be alive at this age. I thought I'd die at like 18 and then just, be dead. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not trying to be dramatic, and I'm not trying to say things falsely. I just did not expect that I would be able to get to even this point. So why not just go a little bit further? And I honestly am kind of like rambling because I feel so indecisive these days on exactly what I want to do. But when I'm in this mindset of being like so unsatisfied with work, so unsatisfied with my current circumstances, my financial means, feeling like I'm not good enough and that I'm never good enough or that I'm never going to get far enough and I need to make a change to get to where I need to be because I know I'm not on the right path yet, that is honestly the only way I've been able to make positive change. When I reflect and I look at all of the things that I've done and that I need to get done and the things that I'm going to need to do to get those things done, that is the only way I've ever been able to find out how I need to do my next gig, get my next game going, get my next hangout going, get anything going. And I'm saying this all really weirdly because I'm honestly so disjointed recently. And I really don't know what I want to do, I have no idea what I want to do. I have no idea how I'm going to do what I need to do to get to where I want to be. And, I reflect and I think about it and I talk to myself all the time about it and I think I need to make a change. I don't want to be like this forever. I don't want to be this person. I want to be me as somebody else, And to be that somebody else, I need to work in a different direction to get to where I need to be. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of just reflecting right now. I'm in a very odd state. I'm in a very odd state of mind where, I feel a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I feel a lot better than I thought I would. And I also don't know why I'm always so worried about money. Maybe it's because that's the only reason I've gotten to where I need to be with money. Maybe that's, how I've gotten to be where I need to be and how I've made the money I've made. It's because I felt so desperate, so it's made me pick up extra shifts, do this extra work, find this extra job, work this extra place, do this extra thing, sell this extra stuff, work here, work there, bounce from job to job because this pay is better than that pay and I can't afford this pay anymore. I need to afford that pay. And I've reflected a lot and I still am unsatisfied. So I just need you to know, if you're also unsatisfied in any capacity, you can keep on going and bouncing from job to job. You can stay in the same profession your entire life if you want to. I don't know what profession you have, but I've been serving for probably about 3 or 4 years now. Ever since I got across the border, I've been serving. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't want to be a server. I don't want to do this anymore. I hate this job. And I'm not trying to act ungrateful because I'm pretty grateful for where I've gotten and what it's gotten me and where my actions have gotten me and also the connections I've made with people have gotten me. But I know for a fact that there's going to be a point where this has to stop and a new direction needs to be made. A new form of profession needs to be developed for me to get to where I need to be. And that's the scary part. It's the indecision of how you're going to execute something new in the uncharted territory of a profession you don't understand or a thing you don't know. So, I'm sorry that I'm rambling. I've been just thinking a lot. I've been kind of reflecting on everything I need to do to get to where I need to be. and I still don't know what I need to do to get to where I need to be. And I could do what a lot of other individuals on YouTube do, pick something to react to, find something that's SEO friendly or algorithmically favorable, and then roll with that until it gets burnt out and then jump to the next thing. Making YouTube videos is honestly like switching jobs a lot of the time. It's like you're just trying to find the next thing to get you more views, or you're trying to find the next profession to make you more money, I know that a lot of people look at YouTube like it is a job, and that's because for a lot of people it is a job. But when I look at YouTube, I don't know if I would ever make this a profession, I'm doing this basically because, I want to tell you what I know so that you can do what I can't do. And, I don't mean to be egotistical when I say that, and I don't mean to just be like, oh, I'm going to be the pawn, the dummy, so that you can figure out all of my mistakes, and, I'm going to enlighten you with all this, philosophy and all this grand garbage. I don't want you to think that that's what I'm trying to perpetuate onto you, but I just want you to know that I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I think that a lot of us don't know what we're doing. Even with YouTube, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. And I think that's one reason why apology videos come out. I think that's one reason why people have to always be, trying to compensate for something they say on YouTube. They have no idea what they're saying, or they have no idea what they're doing, or they're not calculating for this. And we all are ignorant towards things. I'm sure that I'll end up saying something online that I'll regret. I'll say it and I'm going to be like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. A lot of it comes with just additional exposure online. The more that you expand yourself outward in terms of a YouTuber, in terms of just getting views, more people will like you, but also more people will hate you. You'll be facing more public ridicule. You'll be facing, just more of anything in general. You'll just be judged more because you're open to more judgment. You're more algorithmically out there. And again, that's something you have to take in stride. So, you know what? I don't know what I'm thinking. I have no idea what my next job's going to be. No idea what my next gig is going to be. I haven't quit my other job yet. And I don't know if I will yet, I'm not trying to act like, oh my god, my whole life's falling apart and I don't know what I'm going to do. And oh my god, hey, here's my Venmo, stuff like that. But I'm just telling you, this is kind of how I work. This is kind of my process. I just wing it and hope it works out. And it's usually calculated risk. It's not like I'm just jumping from job to job, building a ship only to sink. But at the same time, there's a lot of times where I just feel so unstable, even if I'm financially stable enough to know that even if I lost my job tomorrow, I'd be okay for a few months. Because I've made plans and calculations for if anything happens to me, then my roommate's always going to be good. He'll always be able to pay the rent. I've had plans for everything. I've planned that if I lose my job, then hey, nothing's going to happen where I'm going to, impair anybody else around me. And even if I die, my roommate will still be able to pay the rent because I have it all planned out. But I don't want to think that way. I don't want to think chaotically and, apocalyptically. I want to be able to think in a way that progresses me to a point where I'm self-sufficient, self-sustaining. I want to be able to provide for other people what I know I can't provide even myself yet. And at some point, I'm going to want to be my own employer, and I'm also going to want to employ other people. That sounded bad. But yeah, I just don't know, man. So I'm just thinking. I'm just spitballing right now. But yeah, I don't even know what I wanted to make for the video today, which is why I'm just kind of talking on camera right now in a more echoey room with more random stuff in the background and a series of cars that are probably slamming each other apart at the moment in the streets of Dallas. So, I don't know. I'm just thinking, man. It's just me kind of trying to figure out the next move. Tell me what you think. How many times have you switched jobs? Do you feel stuck as well? Or, whatever? I could ask you 1,000 questions and expect commentary for, algorithmic input and then get you guys to all comment below and, play the game of, comment below, like, subscribe, all that crap. Or maybe that's what people like to do. It's they like to be served by other people, served some kind of righteous input or assurance or... that's the thing is I think we're all seeking some form of assurance and approval from each other, and that's why people like to make YouTube videos where they feel like they're in the right. When, at the end of the day, maybe that's why I don't know what I'm doing is because I don't know even if I'm right or wrong. I really try to just be logical and think, hey, at some point I could screw it up. At some point I could make some seriously bad mistakes, and I'm sure I've made so many. I can't believe that I've gotten this far with the amounts of mistakes that I've made. I've just looked at everything and thought to myself, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm telling you all this because I don't know if it's normal. I suspect it would be because I'm not very special. You know, I'm just human, and I just say stuff and do stuff and hope things work out. You know, I could ask you guys, hey, tell me in the comments below what you think. But, like, I don't even know what I'm thinking, so I don't know if, like, me asking that would even be helpful. As you can see, I'm a little bit lost. I'm trying to portray to you that I really have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm saying this because I don't really know my next step in any capacity. And, you know, for all I know, I could, like Marcus Aurelius says, as I've read multiple times, I've read through his writings many times, thinking to myself, well, tomorrow could never come. Tomorrow might never come. Tonight might never come. It could all end right now, and I wouldn't know it, you know? And I'm just kind of, like, spitballing in my head. Like, I just feel so indecisive and disjointed and chaotic. I feel chaotic, you know, recently, and I'm sure that you all can tell that. Like, I haven't been sleeping well. I've been having horrible night terrors, and it's definitely because my mind is very much torn, and it doesn't know where it wants to go next, and it doesn't know how to fix the problem. So it's kind of probably portraying to me, in some capacity, my indecision and my fear through my dreams. And it's telling me you need to make the next decision, and you need to figure out your next move, and we don't know what to do, and this is why it's manifesting in your mind to be this level of thought process. And, you know, it's a very weird thing to be kind of, like, admitting, and, like, I'm not trying to use YouTube as therapy. Like, I'm just trying to tell you, or to whoever's watching this, or even to myself who will be editing this, you know, I'm not very sure of what's going on anymore. I'm really not. And I don't even think it's a bad thing. I'm not trying to make this negative. I think that this is the best step to self-development, is recognizing that what you're doing isn't where you want to be, and you need to make a change for the better and augment things accordingly so that you can perpetuate a future sense of well-being, even if that future doesn't come. You know, it's the concept of striving for better, even if you never will exceed where you're currently at. To strive, and not to appeal to futility. Appealing to futility is the ultimate curse of being a human, is we oftentimes just give up. And that is basically us willing ourselves to die. So, you know, I just want you to know, if you feel stuck, like, and you feel like you're tormented, and I'm not trying to give you all this, like, random advice, this, like, oh, life gets better-isms, but, like, I just want you to know, it's not that life gets better, it's that you make life better. Like, when you stop and reflect and you question your reality and you question where you're at and you are unsatisfied where you are, and maybe you're depressed and sad and upset and you know you're not where you need to be, at the same time, that is the best moment for you to realize that you want change, and if you work towards that change, if you operate with that drive for change, you can change. So I'm telling you this mainly as a means of recognition for the things that I've been thinking about lately. So I just want you to know that if you recognize that you're unsatisfied now, you can work towards the future and develop a greater drive for your own success, your own satisfaction, and your own contentment. And I think that's one thing I'm really trying to even ironically tell myself while I'm recording this video, is that I know that I'm not in the right position yet, and I know I'm not where I want to be, but how do I get to where I need to be? And I think it's time for some uncharted waters, to delve deep, you know, to dive deeper into the scope of the next thing. And, you know, maybe it'll be nothing. Like, I've had so many projects and done so many things where it's led me literally to nothing. And, you know, it's given me knowledge. Like, it's given me knowledge, which is power. It's given me an awareness. But at the same time, I know that I'm not in the position yet. I'm not competent yet as to where I know I need to be. So that's just what I've been thinking about lately, basically. I know it's a stupid video, but it's just something that's been on my mind, and I don't feel like I'll be good making more YouTube videos and stuff without actually openly talking about this and making it clear, like, this is not it. This is not it yet. And I know it's not it yet. And I think that a lot of people feel this way. It's definitely just part of, you know, the human mind and the concepts of reflection. So yeah, that was the video. You know, I don't know what you can take away from this. I really don't. So I don't really want to tell you, like, hey, take away this from this video or anything like that. I just want you to know, like, sometimes reflection is the best thing. And, like, feeling bad or unsatisfied isn't even a bad thing, ironically. It might be a really good thing for you. And I have faith that actually, in an ironic sense, these are the moments where you'll drive yourself to be the person you want to be. And it feels right even though I know it's not right yet. You know what I mean? Anyways, that was the video. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm gonna stop. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below if you want, or if you don't want to. Honestly, who cares? Anyways, that was the video, so I will talk to you guys later. Slater.